Alright, Shalom to the elect, giving all praise, honor, glory to you. How about Shemal Shai, by Shem Chakodash, and giving double honor to the elder apostles and elder bishops, the great millstone, who well, peace and salutation to the elect. Shemal Mafin is Mafin from the great millstone, Plaintables, came from Philadelphia. Come on, another wee lesson. This is going into the funding crisis, Septa, which is Southeastern Pennsylvania Transportation Agency, if I'm not mistaken, or authority, actually. Yeah, they're the authority. You have it that they are to cut services by 45%. That's damn near half of the force, and raise fares by more than 20% due to the lack of state funding. SEPTA new fiscal year began July the 1st, not just SEPTA's, but others as well. 2025, hopeful year of Jacob's and deliverance. Jacob in Israel, being the so-called Negroes, Latinos, the Americans, you Israelite foreigners as well. They go back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And Esau, Edom, his destruction and judgment. That's the year 2025. You know, the spirit of it. Okay, proclaimed by the apostle Elder Tahar, a great millstone here. Now it says, and now we face 213 million budget deficit, while SEPTA is already one of the most efficient transit agencies in the country. Addition, austerity measures such as hiring freeze and administration cuts. So, you any of you like, yeah, I'm getting that good job at SEPTA. Many of y'all, hey, the hiring is freezing. Okay, and they got administrative cuts. That means many of you people that have jobs that are high within administration, hey, if it's to save money, we know how that goes. A lot of times in superiority, a lot of are within you have seniority, but also you have it that a lot of the new hires that will be in there have administrative jobs but haven't been around. Hey, for the right person, they'll get rid of that person. You get to the right person here, hey, we got to make this cut to save that money. But it says have reduced the size of its deficit from 240 million to 13 million. All right, so it says, all right, 213. All right, sorry, pardon me. There's nothing left to cut from the budget but service. So to avoid service cuts, drastic fare increases, the state must approve a budget that would enable SEPTA to maintain service levels while implementing modest fare increases. Now, everybody knows if you ride SEPTA, many people don't even ride and pay a fare anyway. Okay? Most individuals have been doing fare evasion. Okay? And the lack of the efficiency of their SEPTA key system, I must note as well. Okay, that's that kiosk that you pay and tap and go. Okay? They have a cash fare box as well, but since the implementing of that, and then we had the pandemic occurred in 2020, most people just said forget paying altogether, especially with the quality of the service that you get on SEPTA. You're going on most of those different Market Frankfurt line. Okay, Broad Street line. You have it where you have people that are substance abusing on there, smoking drugs and doing drugs, and shooting up drugs. Homeless people are, chronically on these, services, and it is just unclean and unkept from a lot of them different routes that really discourage riders from riding it. Okay, you're like, damn, I gotta get on the bus, but this guy right next to me is shooting blood out his arm. Like, come on. It's not a good look. But it says that this would be positioned Septa in Pennsylvania to welcome visitors from around the world to America's 250th anniversary celebration. So Babylon the Great is trying to celebrate 250 years, which, as we go into, most major kingdom you got Esau trying to play damage control. Many empires have defied the 250-year rule, but the Roman Empire, but that's under a different rule though. Okay, because you have it with the with Jake ruling the 1,000-year period. But you have it, the fact, this empire is pretty much about to expire. All right, I have to go and look back how the apostles and others going to it, but America hasn't been healthy, okay, at all. All right, and it's been decaying. All right, and the signs are there all around. In this infrastructure, these cuts, they talking about everyday people rely on Septa for about 800,000 trips. They telling you that if they don't get this permanent funding solution, they're gonna be forced to take drastic steps and eliminate 5 regional rails, which run through cities and suburbs, connect you, or here in this region, that is. They got 50 eliminated bus routes. I'm talking about eliminated. They talking about a 9 p.m. curfew on metro and regional rail services. All right. Now I gotta see what metro service is. What is considered metro service? That's metro is just metropolitan, right? Region, large, metropolitan area. Okay. Dense areas. Standardized county or equivalent base areas with high population. That's like Philly. That'd be crazy. I want to look into that more. This curfew, because that's heavy. You working and they're unable to, you got to stop and find some type of way to get home because you rely on Septa. Elimination of special services. Sports Express. They got 66 closure of different stations. Okay, 21.5 fare increase. Look, this is the specifics. All of these routes. Okay. Whoa. They trying to the Boulevard Direct. They want to eliminate that. That's amazing. That runs on a Roosevelt Boulevard, Route 1. They want to eliminate the 88, 73. If you live in Philadelphia, you would know some of these different routes. The 1, You know, some of these buses you can get around. They want to get rid of these different regional rails. West Trenton, you know, that's over in Tacony. Wilmington, Newark. Trenton line, like Thorndale, Paoli, Thorndale, Norristown, Manayunk. Man, this is Chestnut Hill, East Line, Airport Line, the Airport Line. You talking about the Airport Line, the line that gets you if you want to take that from, and they got that infrastructure built up, and that's gonna be left there for nothing. Come on, you know. But that's America, man. America is finished, man. Service reduction. You know, it's showing you that here. And they got 9 p.m. curfew on all remaining metro and regional rail lines. So the Broad Street line, Market Frankfurt line, at 9 p.m. So you're going to have to be rushing to get home before 9 p.m. Because if not, you're not going to be, if you rely on public transport, you're not going to be able to be at them times, you know, and trying to catch a ride, you know, with you know, on these certain lines or buses or, lines. How would your ride be affected? You can see a complete table breakdown, you know, and I could click that. But pretty much what we're seeing is there's a Babylon falling, man. Why the hell would they need all this money in the apparently most prosperous nation? Because this nation is built off debt, and the heavy pledges can't be appeased. Okay, they come with a new system, so I'm gonna get that in Habakkuk. You know, this is Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse. And I'm gonna get it, verse 12. I'm gonna start there. And it says here, woe or destruction to him that buildeth a tower with blood, America. Alright, off the blood of Native Americans. Alright. You know, shed here, Seminole Indians shed here, taking stolen land. You know, Mexicans, so-called, you know, different tribes. Alright. And establish a city by iniquity. You know, and a lot of this city's been established by a bunch of mischief. Alright. We're gonna go down and find that scripture, which is amazing how I don't know it off the top of my head right now. But it says, the thick clay, 2 and 4, that is my fault. Right? No. Yeah, 2 and 6, it says, I started 5, it says, oh, you started 4, it says, behold, his soul, which is Esau, which is lifted up, is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith. Yeah, like, you really think somebody gonna pay like $2.90 or $3 or something like that just to get on a bus? Like, come on, with horrible service. You could be sitting next to vomit. Anyway, because he transgressed my mind, he's a proud man, neither keepeth at home. Who enlarges his desires, hell, he want all your money. Okay? He want even the money that's not his. Okay? And is as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gather unto him all nations, and heap unto him all people. Shall not these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increases that which is not his? How long? And to him that ladeth himself with the clay, and that's the heavy pledges, the debt. Okay? That I bought you. Okay? And this dude got crazy debt. Alright? Debt deficits, and he want to get more funding so he can make it worse. Okay? And they're going to crash it. They want to crash the system ultimately. Alright? So it tells you, Jeremiah 51:8. It says, Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. How for take balm for her pain, if so she may be healed. We would have healed Babylon, but she's not healed. Forsake her, and let us go everyone to his own country, for her judgment is reached unto the heavens, and is lifted up even to the skies. You know, the national defects of this place, the debt, these national deficits, you know, them, you know, even little organization that's supposed to keep the wheels turning and people going to where they need to go, is failing, man. Failing.
Every day, people rely on Septa for 800,000 trips to work, school, the doctor, and everywhere else they need to go.
Yeah, to the block. All right, anywhere, to the grocery store. Okay, all of that's gonna be, a lot of that's gonna be compromised because of them.
Oh, even people who never take a bus, train, or trolley benefit from them. Septa keeps 675,000 cars off the roads.
Why? Because of all of the people that's not driving.
Increases property values and powers Pennsylvania's economy. But without a permanent funding solution, Septa will be forced to dismiss.
They want a permanent solution in a situation that's temporal. The scriptures talk about the fashionless way past this world passes away. Septa goes away too.
Dismantle the system, slashing service by 45%.
That's crazy.
Increasing fares again, this time by over 20%.
And nobody wanted to pay them fares. I don't even want to pay them fares. You know, thankfully I get a commute credit, which give me the ability to go about. But other than that, I lost hope in Septa in the pestilence outbreak. You know, Jacob rather ride a skateboard or a scooter or get an e-bike or a regular bike or walk than to get on Septa in certain cases.
Imposing a 9 p.m. curfew on all rail services, eliminating 50 bus routes.
So it's the rail services is that curfew.
5 regional rail.
But we're not talking about some of them ghost routes where, you know, you thinking that the bus is gonna come pick you up, but it doesn't come. It don't show up.
Lines and all special service like Sports Express. These cuts would be devastating.
Yeah, you get into the game in time. So, you know, some people take, you know, these different Broad Street line to get to the stadium areas. You know, for the Phillies, the Eagles. You know, want to go down South Philly. Cut.
But it doesn't have to be this way. Our elected officials in Harrisburg have the power to act.
Josh Shapiro, the rest of the legislative body in Harrisburg, Amalek.
And so do you. Tell your legislators to support the future of public transit.
What is the future? The future is really the C-HIP, okay? Because that's all what it's all about anyway, okay? We've been enlightened. We're not ignorant of Satan's devices. That's why you have it where, hey, people are not paying for this stuff because, hey, with a social universal basic income, you could just factor that transporting in to those that are participating members of your NWO. So I'm just leaving it at that. You know, Septa's going down, as we can see. Just as America's, they want, you know, apparently a capital budget has been approved, which is deferring $2.2 billion in improvements. You know, but that's as of June 26th. But they need this money apparently. So leave it at that. Shalom to you, like.